Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be talking about 5 secrets of India's top investors. What's really in store for us? What's it that we would really like to learn from them? Everyone knows Rakesh Jhunjhunwala stories, our India's one of the premier investors. He started with a measly rupees 5,000 rupees in his pocket when he started out in 1985. Now, ladies and gentlemen, his worth is more than 5,000 crores. That is the power of stocks. And what we really stand to gain once we start investing in stock markets. A right bet can take you to searing heights that too legally. As a beginner investor, it would be to one's advantage to learn what really made him such a successful and billionaire investor. So let's dive deep inside. Number one, that is the knowledge of business. For every business, you need relevant experience to run it effectively. If we don't have it, if we don't have practical knowledge, our learning curve has to be steep so that we are able to cope up with whatever is happening. In case we do not have, then what is going to happen is that the business may fold in a very short while when the capital runs out, or you may face continuous losses for a sufficient period of time before you actually start making money. Same is true for investment in stock markets. You either acquire or develop a specific skill set to become an ace investor. You need to gather a lot of data and do a lot of research for making right investment in the markets. How many of us here really looked at least 3 4 houses or apartments before they went and finalized one? So if we are ready to do so much research for investing in a flat or an apartment, then what makes you think that we should not do that kind of due diligence even in stocks also? Number two, and one of the most important, capital. If we have capital, we can do anything. To start any business, it is very important to have sufficient seed capital. In stock markets also, you need to bring in a lot of capital to actually participate in it. Suppose you are planning to do option selling, you require a lot of capital. If you are going to do future selling also, you require a lot of capital. So capital is needed, capital is required. Many ace investors have learned the art of starting small and duplicating success so that they can improve their capital base. With many ace investors, they started with little or no capital. As with Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, you would have seen that he started with very little. But as the time passed, he was able to understand, he was able to learn, he was able to formulate specific strategies for himself so that he can not only retain but also grow his capital. With their sheer acumen, fund management skills, they were able to multiply the capital that they had. It's very important that we acquire this skill so that we are able to multiply our capital. Number third, and one of the important ones, is timing the market. When the market is at the top and you think about buying a share, you need to think twice. You can invest in a train aircraft seat for returns, but as soon as the aircraft takes off from the airport, that seat that was vacant, that will not fetch you any sort of returns. As soon as the aircraft leaves the bay, the seat is not filled, the investment turns to zero. For every investment one makes, the timing of investment also matters. You have to pick the right stock at the right time. Ace investors have mastered the art of picking the right stock at the right time. With timing comes the price point of entry. In case you overpay, then the ROI is stretched into the future. Maybe it's stretched so far into the future, it really makes no sense investing in that kind of stock. So it is very important, ladies and gentlemen, that the stocks are caught at the right time for the investment. Do you get this? Okay, let's move forward. With the timing, we should have enough patience. Once we buy the stock or once we short sell or take any action, we should have sufficient patience to let the market play itself. After researching adequately, one makes a decision to invest in a particular stock. Now, on a particular day, the stock market faces tremendous pressure from a lot of forces, both nationally and internationally. This causes not only the broader market to move down, but also the particular stock in which one has invested also to face downward pressure. Ace investors choose to stick with their stocks with both during recession and also during upswing. For a very simple reason, they know that their stock's intrinsic value is far greater than what is being shown. Ace investors, when they choose their stocks very carefully and trade them only and only when there is sufficient and strong reasons affecting the fundamentals of the company. In case there are no strong fundamentals, they wouldn't even bother to touch it. Investors who have patiently held on to their stocks over the time have had multi-bagger returns over the years. If you take the example of Wipro, you would see that the person who had invested 10,000 rupees in 1980s 1980s or 1970s would definitely have more than 50, 60 or 100 crores of rupees right now. Now, wouldn't you like that? Investors who patiently have held on to their stocks have had multi-bagger returns over the years. Once the recession is over, the market bounces back, the stocks also bounce back, your returns come and they give you handsome returns. Now, wouldn't you like it? Let's go to the next point, and which is the fundamental holding factor in all of this. That's the vision. What is it that you really want to achieve? Someone has said, if you don't know where you are going, will it really matter where you have reached? If you have taken up the vision for having at least 20% or 30% returns, and you should have certain sufficient corpus at this age, you need to start planning for it. You need to understand what is really required of you. You need to understand your strategies. To persist in negative markets, it takes strong willpower and courage to hold on to the guns in your thick and thin. Markets are known to throw a lot of surprises each day. Filtering all the relevant news, each action must lead to your ultimate goal, which you have set out for. In the words of oil tycoon Dhirubhai Ambani, only when you dream it, you can do it. Thank you for listening to my video. Do like and subscribe. Thank you so much.